Hello, people. So it is day 2 of 7 days of Christmas. It may not be looking very Christmassy around here, but trust me, I'm in Christmas mood here. So day 2 of the 7 days of Christmas are actually the final 7 days of a 30-day marathon I decided to undertake. I felt impressed in my heart by myself to show up, do a video, share a thought, a solid thought I have taken time to ruminate over, and to do that consistently for 30 days. And people, things have happened. Blind eyes have opened. Lame are walking. Okay. But I have had a lot of benefits, and I decided to take the last 7 days of this discussion and talk about the things that have happened. You can tell I've gotten comfortable in front of the camera. If you can't tell, I can tell. Like, it's still not, I'm still not yet at home, but it's not what it used to be. This is, for example, just my first video. This is the first time I started this video, and and I'm not going to go back on this, but generally that has happened. But that's not what I wanted to discuss today. The concept of marathons versus sprints. You notice that in a sprint, that's a race, but a sprint, a short race, 100 meters or whatever. When the whistle goes off, everybody starts running. But the speed in a sprint is unbelievable. They are running like, and there's this funny thing that happens. You always see them looking over their shoulders at who is coming up. And they are running so fast, and they are looking over their shoulders to see if somebody, in fact, sometimes that costs them the race. But the obsession about who is coming up when they are running, I don't notice that in marathons. In marathons, it seems like the attention is on self. It seems like people are running the same, but they are watching for their pace. They are checking their breath. They are checking their energy levels. Guys, I have come to understand that. And so it's something that I have started applying in other areas to understand that whether it's a fast one or a short one, whether it's a long-term plan, a short-term plan, there is a race I am running. There is a race I must win. I must be conscious of the fact that at the end of the day, there is a race. But unlike the races that, the other races I see, in this kind of race, in a marathon, you want to pay attention to you. You want to pay attention to your energy levels. Am I going to be able to keep this up? Am I going to be able to show up in this energy every day, all the time? Is this something I can do long term? How about my pace? Am I pacing myself so that I don't burn out before I make the 7th turn? I have learned to pay attention to all of those things. I have not lost sight of the fact that there is a race with my name on it, but I have also become conscious that this race is mine. All mine. And I am running it in a way that I will win. And that the rules as it applies does not apply to everybody the way it applies to me. It applies to me differently. You don't know the peace that comes with this. When you are running and you are obsessed with what everybody is doing, it's pure torture. And I know how you like to think you're not in competition until you see something, until you're always looking over the fence to see how your neighbor is doing. But after a while, I have just come to enjoy my space, enjoy myself, enjoy talking to my mic and to my phone. I've gotten to a place of comfort with that. There is a time I tell myself when I do that. I tell myself, I intend to show up tomorrow. The important thing is that I am able to show up tomorrow. I don't intend to do this and use up all my energy so much that I am not able to show up tomorrow, or that I think about doing this and I dread it. I intend to show up tomorrow. And so if I do a video and I'm not particularly okay with it, I said tomorrow I'll do a better one. That is very comforting for me. That is a big win. Okay, and a little bit about myself. I am as busy as they come. I don't know whether that is good or bad, but to a large extent, I consider each of my activities a necessity. I have a home to run. If you if you have to think about and talk about and plan what to cook 3 times a day, and do that every day, it can it can take some time because everybody's looking forward to you to make sure that some things are taken care of. I have businesses I am running. I have a full-time job that requires all of me. Okay, and I show up and I give my job all of me, and yet I have decided, I have chosen on top of all of that to show up here in this capacity. I have commitments in church, right? It can get very busy, but while I understand that it's not something, to be preached or to put up as a standard for everyone, I also seem to find it necessary that I show up in all these spaces like I do, just like you. I know you have areas of necessity, but to put this on top of it, it has become necessary for me to make sure that I pace myself. And I have begun to understand just exactly how to do that. Where to find the 15 to 20 minutes to do this, where to fit in the time it takes to think up, to put my thoughts into a single train of thought, where to put these batches of time, how to pace the rest of the things going around in my life so that I find time for this, how to regulate all the other emotions I have to give to other things in order to show up like this. Guys, it's a marathon and I think I have the hang of it. I have learned to act like I am here to win, to be conscious about that. I have learned to remember that I have a lane, to maintain my lane. I'm going to tell you guys this. I am not a perfect swimmer now, but there was a time we got a swimming coach. He came around the house to help us learn how to swim. I don't think I have finished learning how to swim, but I knew that I was able to move from one end of the pool to the other end of the pool. And while this was happening, one thing that always happened was that I could move from one end of the pool and I am swimming. I would never finish in a straight line. I would be at the other extreme. Like by the time I bring my head out of the water, and I remember the swimming coach would just be like, your GPS is wonderful. And sometimes I feel that happening in life. I feel like I start from one end and then I am at another end and I'm like, okay, how did I get here? What am I doing here? How does this and this relate? But one of the things I have been able to do, just in straightening out my thoughts and talking about it and being consistent with it, one of the added benefits I have had is that I am able to maintain my lane. I am able to see what other people are doing, and it's not just that I consciously take my focus out of it. It does not even ring a bell. It's wonderful. I appreciate it. There is no part of me that tingles with I could be doing that. And that's growth from where I'm sitting. That's growth. I'm calling on you and anyone who, hears this to let you know that regardless of how you think life is going now, regardless of what you think you are doing or what you cannot do, regardless of the things that are in your heart you feel you do not have time for, I really think you can get up and decide on one thing. I think you can get up and decide on one thing and tell yourself, I don't know whether I am going to be able to do this thing, in addition to all the other things I'm doing, but I'm going to do this small part of this thing every day. For the next 20 days, for the next 15 days, for the next 30 days, I'm going to try it out. And if after 30 days I am unable to maintain it, then I know I can't do it. But I know you feel like I don't have time to, start that business. I don't have time to maintain that culture. I don't have time to sit down with a problematic child and talk to him every day. I don't have time to call whatever it is. I now know that you can actually do it. It's just a question of, do you want to say yes to this particular thing or not? Is this something you want to follow through, or is this something you don't want to do? And if it is something you don't want to do, say a categorical no. And know that we are not going that way. Don't live your life and feel that longing or regret, like, I could have done this thing, I should have been doing this, I should have started that master's course or a PhD course. There are certain things I could have, but where is the time? You can never feel that hell. I remember what my marketing professor told me, when we were talking about having different markets. Maybe you have an audience size, and this is the audience you are targeting, and yet the wrong audience keeps coming to you. Like, you feel your target is maybe people who are rich, and yet you have this broke asses coming to shop. And I remember him saying one thing. He says, in your business, in the race of your business, you can never be helpless. If you have a certain group of people coming to you and you feel they are the same kind of people and they keep coming, there is something you are giving off. There is a message you are sending that attracts that group of people. You need to stop sending that kind of message, and you need to focus on the right kind of message. But you can never be helpless. The moment you don't know what you are doing, close up and go. And so I'm bringing it down to life. In life, the results you are seeing, the things that are happening, they are not happening to you in a position of helplessness. You are not helpless. You just think that you are. And you don't know the power you have until you start to exercise it. So just pick up one simple thing. I think this is the bomb, and it's already influenced. I already know the book. I already know the book I'm starting the next year with. And a few of you will be joining me, right? So that we can get to talk about it. Because if you have the opportunity to talk about something you have learned, it sticks, right? There's a book that talks very much about this. But I know you can pick up one thing and decide that in the journey to get this part of my life all together, I am going to start doing this one thing, and I'm going to just have enough energy for today. I just want to do it right for today. Tomorrow I'm going to get up and I'm going to deal with tomorrow, but all I need is just to come out today and do it right today, and then close my camera, and we will tick the check box for the box for today, that we have done it for today, and we will go and do other things. And then tomorrow I am going to show up, and then we are going to do it again tomorrow. And every time I come around to do it, I am going to do it, making sure that I am doing it with the energy that I have. I will not borrow energy from tomorrow. I will not do it in a way that after doing it, I am unable to stand up. Where my energy reaches for today, I will stop, because I intend to be able to rest and show up for tomorrow. I feel like there's a discovery to be made here. And there are people who have expressed it better. And we'll talk about that as we go. But for today, I understand what a marathon is. I understand the equipping necessary, how to start, how to stay in the middle, how to finish. And it's a joy, people. So, subscribe to this channel if you have watched this far. At this point in time, I am confident that there is a lot we have to discuss. I am confident that there is much that you can learn, that we can learn as we go on this journey. And there are a lot of people, yes, to be learned outside there, but you can watch me do it. You can be part of me. I believe so much that I have inspiration for you here. And remember, we will be dealing with all of it from God's word. We will be having the word of God as our base each and every time. But this is the second day of the 7 days of Christmas. Tomorrow will be a third day. And I don't see myself getting tired, because you know what? I am not exerting myself more than I should. And there will be a time when I will need to exert myself, but not more than I should. It's a marathon, guys. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.